Okie dokie, we're live. Here we are. It is November 1st. We made it through October. It was a very interesting month.
We
And
barely made it through.
today is also a very interesting day
Hmm.
on a lot of different levels. Okay, so you had something you wanted to share with us? Or should we say hello to everyone in the room first? Hey, welcome. So today, guys, we're subscriber mode. So for those who are subscribed, they're able to um Lord have mercy. They're able to participate in the chat. And part of the reason why we're opening it up today is because we want to just, encourage people to come, kick it, hang out. We don't want them to think that we're completely antisocial. So, come through and enjoy, being with us today. It's not often we do this. We've done it a little bit more. And I think part of the reason we're doing it is because Odell is trying to encourage people to subscribe to the channel so that we can get to our 100K because we're less than
Yeah,
1,500 away. So,
you had a lot of people. Well, shout out to we did that Britney Spears Kevin Federline talk last week, and we just made it into it's standalone, and a lot of people came and was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you had your own channel." So they got a lot of subscribers just from that alone. So yeah,
yeah, here
yeah.
we are. Um, so we're trying something a little bit different today. And not only that, today is also another special day. There's a guy who we know who we're getting to know more and more. And it happens to be his birthday today. And we got a report that he's having a good birthday. And we're happy about that. Trust me, I know what it's like to be, behind those locked doors. I know what that feels like. Um, guess what? Now he knows too. And it's kind of creepy, uh, the stuff that's happening online. But this young man here is having another birthday this year. And another wonderful solar return. Here he is. And, for those of you who can, just keep him in your prayers and say a special happy birthday to him. There's a lot of people that he knows that didn't make it this far. So, who do we have in the building? We have the Saga Reveals. Welcome. Hey, Myrna, how are you? And Shabbat Shalom to those who observe and to those who don't. And for some of you, it's already over. For some of you, we're right in the thick of it. Yes, that pretty girl. It is Derrick's birthday today. Hey, we got Princess CS in the building. Tara Jansen. Yes, hello. How are you? Ken Corey's in the building.
And
Hey, I
it,
thought you incog. Let's see. You must have had a subscriber gift. Oh, Gret Fretsky. Who all is here? Pat Blair. Who is that? That is Derrick Lee Smith. Something we've been researching. Something that we're about to start sharing more openly with the public. He looks like Lawrence Fishburne. That's an interesting comparison. I guess I can see that. Can you see that?
hmm the the question I got. Well, first off, before I even go, because it's funny you mentioning mug shots, and you got his prison. This is a prison, not a mug shot, but this is just prison Department of Corrections photos that they take for everyone every year, I think, right? Updated and all that good stuff. Before I get into that though, y'all already know about this whole EBT thing, and let me save y'all an embarrassment. Don't go to the Olive Garden with your EBT card thinking you're gonna get a free meal. I went there this
What?
morning. I went there this morning and they laughed at me so hard I cried. I had to I walked out with my head down. I was embarrassed. They was like, "We're not offering free EBT meals for people on the EBT whatever." No,
Are
there's
you
this thing
serious?
people are going around talking about, Olive Garden released this saying beginning November 1st, the SNAP recipients can dine in free. Uh, as Olive Garden, we believe in taking care of more unfortunate members of our community. We're all family. That's a lie. It's just to embarrass
Yeah.
people. Like, don't go there. I didn't go there. I'm just a joke. It's a joke. But I had to verify. I was like, yeah, they're sitting here trying to set people up. They're gonna have it's gonna yeah people yeah it's a lie. But people are running around here telling this lie. It's
You
crazy.
want to know what's interesting? Derek used to work at Olive Garden, didn't he?
I think did he? Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
before he
so.
worked the fishbone.
Yeah, he did. Yep, he did. Yep, that's
Yeah.
funny. The irony. You see how they playing jokes? The irony. On his birthday, they doing this.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Something else I was gonna
Very
show.
interesting.
What the heck? Something
What?
else I was gonna show. Man, oh man, this thing didn't even. It done killed my whole little thing. Um, basically, it went away. I was showing you the video of it said something a video that didn't age well, but it was the scene in what was that movie with Tiffany Haddish and Queen Latifah and
Girls trip?
Girls Trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even find the dang on short no more. Uh oh, here it is. This scene didn't age well. They were saying like since we're talking about Diddy,
Hurry up. Okay, P. Diddy is not gonna be waiting for me all night. He's a busy man.
that didn't age well, right? I mean, it's certain things people write in certain films and um it just don't age well. That's a very bad look. It's that line is horrible. Like right now when you look at the things that's going on with P Diddy. But back to what I was saying, and this is deplorable. Um, but how come there's TMZ? They have a photo of Diddy. Looks like he's outside of a bus or something. But where's the Department of Corrections photo? Where's his booking photo? Where's all that? How come we don't see that? I just got questions. How come we don't see?
You mean that
That's
ain't
not
it?
real. That ain't real. Like what's your favorite line? That shit ain't real. That shit ain't real.
That's not real?
That ain't real. It ain't real. Yeah, that's the question I got. How come we don't? We don't. Like Derek's been in that photo that you played that showed of Derek. That's from this year. So they had to play it. I mean, they had to take a current picture of him
Yeah.
and put it on display for everyone. And it's not real. That's not. I mean, not that it's not real. That's real. Diddy doesn't have one. It's interesting.
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out who took pictures of him in prison and was able to release it to the public.
Right. Me too.
You're not supposed to be able to do that. You're not supposed to be able to take outside photos of inmates and post them up online. So I'm just trying to figure out how all of that happened.
This is horrible.
What's horrible? Something else that you found?
Yeah, I'll talk about it later.
Oh Lord have mercy. I You know what I'm seeing a lot of? I'm seeing a lot of people having a lot of what you call it, sympathy for the diddler. Uh there's a lot of sympathy going on. Oh, look at him. Oh my God, this is so terrible. Oh, poor him. Poor him. Poor him. Poor him. I don't know. It seems kind of weird. It's there's a lot of backpedaling going on right now. There's a lot of sidestepping going on right now. There's a lot of people that are playing into a lot of interesting narratives. And it all seems to be just to keep the public in a state of unrest,
Yeah.
to keep the public, just all up in arms. And especially in, like the simple fact that people are still sitting there trying to pretend like this man is innocent of anything. Um it's To me, I find it offensive, and I can only imagine how offensive it is to all of the survivors and the people who are still going after him in civil lawsuits right now. Um, I don't get it. I don't get it. I and I guess it's because we're so closely attached to the things that are happening in the real world. Like it's really interesting. There is the online world, and then there's the real world. And well, Fort Dix is a federal prison, and federal prisons are typically not as harsh as your average prison. I mean, there are some federal prisons that are a little bit harder, but yeah. I mean, the truth is nobody thought that he was going to go to jail at all. Nobody thought that he was going to be convicted of anything. Everyone did everything that they could do to make sure that he got as close to walking away from this completely unscathed as possible. And it's kind of wild, seeing people doing the humiliation posts, talking about him working in the laundry, talking about him having a job in jail. But what I will say is this: I'm finding it funny how everybody could hear all of the stuff, what little bit they allowed to be heard on the record, and believe that he's innocent of anything. I don't get it. So yeah, that brings us to kind of like where we are today, because today we have some information that we need to share. Uh,
Yeah.
is putting this series together isn't easy. It's not going to be easy, and I don't know, Odell. Maybe you can explain why a little bit.
Oh no, yeah, I'll just touch up on it a little bit. I had a screenshot previous, and I'll get back to that. But as you guys can see, there's a lot of moving parts going on with this case with Derrick Smith. So Derrick Lee Cordello Smith. So if you guys are not aware, Derrick Lee Cordello Smith, he's an individual who it's proven he had a business deal with Sean Puffy, P Diddy, Brother Love Combs, right? That's all on public record. Um, he claims a lot of things have happened to him. One was, he had the business situation with him. There was an altercation between him and Puff. Puff assaulted him. There's proof of it. There's proof of a cover up where some people allegedly Sean Combs sent some people out to get um, Mr. Smith to unalive him. There was a situation where that happened. Mr. Smith unalived one of the three people that were trying to go after him, and he ended up in prison. Not for manslaughter, but for something way crazy. And here we are. We're at the. I mean, we're almost 3 decades after the fact that all this happened, and we're uncovering a whole lot of things that have transpired. And there's a lot that goes on. Of course, when you got powerful friends, you can make some things happen. And we had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Smith, Derrick Lee Smith, a couple of weeks back, and then all of a sudden, communication stopped. Well, why did communication stop? Oh, well, they just basically took his phone privileges away from him for 60 days. And this is an interesting 60 days if you ask me. But we'll get more into it. But it's very interesting when things happen, why they happen. At least I always look at stuff like, well, I look at things like that. Um, but very interesting. It's a very interesting situation. Right here to the left of or right or whatever, because I don't know, I know they do what they do with this technology. Sometimes it's the other way, because for me it's the right of me, but it may be the left of y'all, where there's this misconduct, this paperwork, this misconduct report. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up because just like my eyes aren't that great anymore. Um, yeah, there's a misconduct hearing here.
Mhm.
And no, it's well, this essentially is this as a notice to conduct an administration hearing. I'm sorry, it's not a misconduct meeting. It's a intent to conduct an administrative hearing. So this is Derrick Lee Smith. And the date is from 2 weeks ago, October 15, 2025. Telephone restriction per. I got the names blocked out. But when you got some powerful enemies or friends, they tend to do things like that. I don't know if you guys want to go deeper into what's going on here, if you got any questions, but all of a sudden we were talking to him, and then yep, blocked.
Actually, let's first things first, let's welcome everybody that's here. And let's also welcome everybody to please hit the like button and share. Share this
Yeah,
live.
please hit the like button,
Um,
y'all.
so let's just get into it. Let's talk about what happened. Let's go over the timeline of events.
Yeah.
Now, we were reached out to by some trusted allies of Mr. Cordello Smith. And we had been interested in this case. I had been interested in this case, most definitely, because it kind of came and went. Diddy got arrested in 2024. People talked about it. They talked about the $100 million judgment. And then that got shrouded and covered over by a bunch of civil cases. Then, about 6 months after that, 5 or 6 months after that, they started talking about the affidavits, and they started talking about this and talking about that, and saying that people had admitted to foul play. Um, all kinds of things. And then that kind of got quiet. People were debunking this, debunking that. And then it just disappeared again. And what I kept finding so interesting is that what I kept really finding like super interesting is that it kept disappearing with no resolution.
Hmm.
A lot of accusations, a lot of speculation, a lot of Perry Mason work, a lot of commentary, a lot of debunking, but still nothing concrete. And if you're going to just take something for me, every time this happens in the media, something comes out and it's a big splash everywhere. And then all of a sudden it just disappears with no resolve. And then the next time you hear about it, something was decided in court and that all happened very quietly. You know, when it comes out, it's huge.
Hmm.
Like, best example, and I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'm just going to talk about the facts because I don't want anyone to think that, I'm being aggressive or predatory in any way. But there is currently right now a lawsuit that none of us knew anything about for months. It didn't become popular until someone wanted to make an announcement that they had won this large settlement. Julie McKnight Johnson was sued for defamation for $8.8 million dollars or whatever. And none of us knew anything about it at all. Am I wrong? Nobody
No.
heard about it. Now, the person that sued her was also suing someone else. And that was made very, 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 very public all over the place. And I got to go back and I need to look at the person on my Instagram that said that I was being sued for multi millions because it wasn't me, it was Julie McKnight Johnson. So I'm curious who that was because they got the figure of her lawsuit right, but they put it on me. So I'm not understanding, what's going on there because they kept that so quiet. And then the next thing you know, it's this big splash and this big splash and this big splash. And and that's the other thing that I really can't stand about Joe Budden's podcast. Like they have a really big loudspeaker over there, but they seem to get to current events like 2 weeks late, which just re-triggers it in the algorithm all over again to make it look like it's fresh news. So just in case someone missed it, it comes off as new after everyone's already talked about it or whatever the case may be. And it's wild because Joe Budden's podcast didn't start talking about the Julie McKnight lawsuit until just a couple of days before she responded. And it's wild because since she's responded, I haven't seen a lot of people reporting on it
No, they haven't followed up. And
at
mind
all.
you, Joe Button, Sleepy Joe, let's call him Sleepy Joe because he was sleepwalking. He's
Naked,
friends with he fetches water for Jig. I'll just say it like that.
naked and afraid, Joe. You were saying about fetching water in the nude?
No, he does. He's a allegedly he's payroll for Jay-Z. So I get it. I see why he would double back and talk about something that, yeah.
You mean kind of like Charlemagne the Fraud?
Yeah, exactly.
Leonard?
They're all yeah, they all D-ride. They're D-riders.
Leonard I play with my Skinnerd, who shows up at community events trying to convince people that they need to get behind a casino that's going to do nothing but destroy their community. So yeah, anyway, I just find it interesting because everyone was so big to talk about, oh, This person won, this person won, this person won. And they're not talking about the response because the response is very interesting.
Yeah.
What I find very interesting about the responses, and there's only like one or two people that I saw even talk about it on smaller platforms. But the problem that I had with it was the way they disseminated the information. Now, one of the content creators made a mistake and corrected what was read. Um, and salute to you for making that correction. But when you did it in your broadcast, you read it wrong. And it was funny because I watched this person sitting there reading their Pacer account live for the world. And I heard what they read, but they it totally just went wrong. And they were literally reporting the wrong thing about what they had just read. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right because that's not what this person read. So they went back and they, did a retraction on their community post, which I thought was kind of interesting because a lot of people don't go to your community wall. They watch your videos, they see your videos. So you might have corrected yourself on your community wall. But when people go and watch the video, what they're going to see is what you said. And what was said, it was kind of interesting. So let's just get into it. Let's get into it. Julie McKnight was not served at her legitimate address. Listen to me. There's a lot of stuff going on, Truman Show. There's a lot of stuff going on. Let's take it one step at a time. Because of all the things that people are talking about, they're not talking about the things that we're talking about, which is extremely interesting. And please don't forget to keep liking. Um,
Y'all hit the like button, please.
so this is what happened. The lawsuit was filed and it was served to an old address that Julie McKnight Johnson has not lived at for quite some time, which the person that was suing her should have known. Matter of fact, I find it hard to believe that they didn't know
I'm sure
that
he
she
knew.
lived there. In my opinion, I find it very hard to believe that he didn't know. It's an old address. And in Julie's affidavit, she literally put the address down and said that home was foreclosed on long ago. Haven't lived there in God knows how long. But that's where it was served. And someone signed for it. And when they signed for it, they signed with her initials. They didn't write her name, they just put her initials. Interesting. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was considered service. My thing is, and like she said in the affidavit, there is no one at that old address that she hasn't lived at in many years that was authorized to sign anything for her. So, I don't know. What does that sound like to you guys?
Sounds like fraud.
Because that's not accurate service, which means there can be no default judgment because she wasn't served. And not only that, whoever accepted those documents fraudulently signed her initials, pretending to be her. That's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. So, once again, we have a big splash with information, making it seem like Julie McKnight Johnson has lost this lawsuit. She didn't show up. I guess, for whatever reason, she was served and now there's a default judgment and she's on the hook. No, not true at all. Nope, she responded. That means the entire action has to get reset and this whole thing has to begin all over again. But yet, nobody online is retracting that and saying that no, he didn't win. No. And the truth is, the judge in this case should be looking at this very side eye ish
Yeah.
because that means that whatever you put in for that default judgment was fraudulent. It was fraudulent. You tried to steal a judgment, allegedly. And the judge should really be looking at that, especially when you get online and you make a video, like a whole production, and send it out all over social media for everyone to just run with. And nobody bothered to look at the facts. Even though a few people said it looked like it was a premature celebration, and salute to you for those of you that did that. Kim Pyre was one of them, um, who said it was a premature judgment because it was, because there was nothing on file, nothing had gone through. And now we know why. And now we know what actually happened. And now we know that even though people were running all over line talking about suing, a lawsuit we had never heard about, when we finally do hear about it, it's this phantom judgment
Mm.
that turns out it was for something that was never even served. And there was fraud attached to the receipt of the paperwork. So I don't know. We got to ask ourselves why that happens online, why that happens so often. Why are people so quick to run with the negative side of the story and then never going back and then figuring out what's real? So I say all that to bring us to why we decided to look into the Derrick Lee Smith case, because there's something wrong.
It's a lot wrong.
There's something wrong there. And when we first announced that we were going to be moving forward with this and we started producing, we were talking Derek for just under 2 weeks. And in that time, a lot of stuff started happening. Like it was like a ripple effect. As Diddy was being sentenced, we were in communication and we had found some interesting information that wasn't available 6 months ago. Now, 6 months ago, there were a lot of content creators that were debunking Derek, debunking all of his claims. I think the big part of the story was that he was this master forger from behind prison wall, and that he was able to pull off this scandalous affidavit gate with a typewriter and fake notaries, uh,
Mm.
and so on and so forth. And I
Right.
was, and we were looking, and it's wild because we didn't go back and look at a lot of the content. that a lot of the people were sharing about Derrick. We didn't bother to look. We didn't want to be biased. We didn't want to be prejudiced. We were looking and examining what we had and dealing with it from that standpoint. And then we went back and we looked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm not gonna lie. If if it wasn't for the stuff that we've been finding now, it could be very swaying. Eh, I mean, people really went out of their way to create this whole diatribe around the lengths that he was willing to go to get out of jail. And don't get me wrong, who wants to spend their whole life in jail? Nobody. Nobody does. No one. It's it's very interesting. But see, the difference between what they were looking at then and what we're looking at now is a huge difference. And what we have right here is evidence in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't think anybody was expecting us to really, really, really get into it. Like get into it heavy. I think they thought we were just going to talk about it a little bit. We were going to do this. And I get it. I get why people would think that. They would think that because they didn't know what we know now. Now, I've shared this image on a few occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wild because it's not watermarked. So I'm not going to leave it standing up there for too long. But that gold seal, that's not easy to explain away. The affidavits, the stamps, this notary, this is off and he doesn't exist. And I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot. I'm just trying to figure it all out how you fake that seal. And that's why we came forward with that first, because we wanted to show people that we had just cause to look into this and unearth these things and go over this all over again. I know there's a lot of people who just want this to go away. They just want this to disappear. Derrick's findings, see, when that $100 million lawsuit hit Pacer, and see, people were looking for things on Diddy, so it was kind of like almost impossible to miss it, right? But even the way that came out, because we didn't really hear about that in the media until a week after Diddy was arrested and taken to, what is it, MCP? So this happened before that.
Yeah.
Just like this paperwork happened before he got his sentencing. This paperwork happened on the 27th of September. And we're lucky to be, I think, the only people in media to have access to that. Which is why when I sat down on the blue couch the last time, I wanted to make sure that I shared it because I didn't want anyone to miss it. That was done intentionally. Hmm.
Mm.
Thank you, Janine. So here we are. Yes, Diddy got prison officials. I mean, let's not blame it all on Diddy. He has help. He has a lot of help. I just think it's funny that he was able to keep his phone privileges. He was able to keep all of his privileges. Maybe everyone's forgetting about Dawn Richard and her bandmate Kalina, because when Diddy got locked up, he wasn't supposed to be calling witnesses and intimidating witnesses and harassing witnesses. He called Kalina damn near like 150 times.
Mm.
Everyone knew he had access to allegedly cell phones while he was in jail, also against the rules. He should have been restricted. He should have been allowed to keep his phone privileges.
Mm.
Am I wrong?
No.
It's funny. It seems like the rules don't apply to him. They just apply to everybody else, right? Interesting. I mean, he should have gotten a notice that read kind of like this one. Telephone restriction per some Wayne County prosecutors and even the Attorney General of Michigan. That's heavy when the Attorney General gets involved, because that's for the whole state. October 14th, 2025. Some Wayne County officials. Hello, are you there?
I'm right here.
You sound like you okay?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
Oh, I thought I heard you snore.
Probably.
That's
I wasn't
terrible.
snoring. I wasn't snoring.
That's terrible.
Ouch. Mm.
You need to go take a break because you can't.
No.
I can handle
I got it. I'm sitting there listening. You said the Wayne County officials. Oh
it.
man.
Mm, my God, the agony. So anyway, on October 14th, Wayne County officials asked that the office issue a restriction on the prisoner's ability to utilize the prisoner telephone system based on the following needs and requests of all requested parties. Inmate Cordello Smith has released transcripts of a sealed hearing
Hmm. Hmm.
where a Wayne County official appeared under oath in Cordello Smith's alias name, that is Elmore, file number, we're not going to put that out there, jeopardizes the agreement between the parties of Worthy, oh, I'm sorry, did I say that? Combs and Cordello Smith. You want to take a break and stop there for a second?
Sure.
Does everybody understand what I just read? Do we understand that? Now, we redacted the names out of respect, and we'll even go as far as saying that all of this is alleged. It's just our opinion.
I mean, you had people running around here talking about these were there were things that were fake. There were fake transcripts, and you had uh individuals running around here, warning, oh yeah, don't do this. You're gonna be destroyed. Not even warning, threatening,
Yeah. My
threatening.
credibility, my
Right,
platform.
right. Why? Why were they so hell bent on?
You want a quick recap? Here's a quick recap. There is a man who alleges to be a Diddy victim and survivor of SA and Grape, and someone he's been allegedly robbing now for the past 28 years. His name is Derrick Lee Smith, and over a year ago, he sued Diddy for $100 million for breach of their agreement, their contract, and he was awarded a default judgment of $100 million. Everyone heard about that. Now, apparently, the judgment was set aside because supposedly it wasn't served correctly, whoop de whoop de woo. But then come to find out it was served correctly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of games were being played. And considering that no one is, I mean, one of the biggest stories pretty much being told regarding all of this, if I'm correct, is that Diddy doesn't know this man, never had anything to do with this man. This man is making it all up. He's crazy. He's insane, right? That's what they're saying. I don't know. Yeah. He alleges that he was raped by Diddy. He alleges that there is a grape kit. Yes, of Diddy. Now, we've read some of the transcripts from this document.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you need to get up and do some jumping jacks or something, but you said Michigan, right? Well, Ashton Kutcher, isn't he from Michigan or Oklahoma? I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, how is all of this stuff alive, but these documents keep popping up? And just so you understand, this document here was issued in jail.
Yeah,
This is a jail document.
and that's some of it, not all of it. So,
This is a jail document. And this is regarding restricting his telephone communication because of these documents. Are we all caught up? Put a one in the chat if you're following what we're saying. Put a two in the chat if you're falling asleep like Odell.
I'm not falling asleep.
Now, for those who are coming in late, I'm going to read it one more time. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, Rain. Let's read this one more time. Telephone restrictions, nature of hearing. Telephone restrictions.
I'm trying not to say their names, please.
I, on October 14th, 2025, some Wayne County officials,
These people requested that
these people requested that this office issue a restriction of the prisoner's ability to utilize the prisoner telephone system based on the following needs and requests of the requested parties. Inmate Cordello Smith has released transcripts of the sealed hearing, which, by the
of
way,
blank, 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 of blank, blank, blank.
was unsealed in 2007, but just sitting around. Um, Inmate Cordello Smith released transcripts of the sealed hearing of Whoopty Whoopty Woo appearance under oath in Cordello Smith alias name that the transcribed hearing was placed under seal in the criminal case exposure of the people of Michigan versus Derrick L. Moore, file number whoopty whoopty woo, jeopardizes the agreement between the parties of blank,
You can
the
say his
diddler,
name. Did I? Yeah, Combs. Uh-huh.
the diddler, and Mr. Cordello Smith. This is a DCS hearing document. And this hearing is saying exactly what agreement. Why would
Right.
there be an agreement between people who don't know each other, never met, have nothing to do with each other?
Exactly.
That's what it's saying here. Okay, let's pick it up. Jeopardizes the agreement between the parties of blank, Combs, and Cordello Smith. Information as that inmate, Cordello Smith, relies upon his telephone communications. PP, detective for Wayne County, prosecutor's office has requested this to aid with their ability to stem the flow of the transcribed proceedings and to keep Cordello Smith incarcerated. Cordello Smith can establish the connection of
Of blank.
failure to prosecute the election workers and other county officials for ballot
Ballot
theft
thefts
during the
during the
2020
2020 presidential
presidential
campaign.
campaign for Donald Trump's votes.
Wow. And being destroyed.
Let me read that again. Cordello Smith can
Mm.
establish the connection of blank blanks, failure to prosecute the election workers and other county officials for ballot theft during the 2020 presidential campaign for Donald Trump's votes being destroyed.
All right. So since you look, this is why in the beginning I preferenced everything saying that it's deeper than rap, right? It's some higher ups, it's some stuff that could like if you know you talk about a situation at work where one supervisor said this or that, or this supervisor got a TikTok and blah blah blah, and then you go, okay, people can get in trouble and whatever, heads will roll, proverbial heads will roll. No, no, no. This situation, literal heads will roll. So you see why we had to tread lightly and be very careful. This is just a piece of the puzzle. They say that he can connect the somebody's failure to prosecute election workers and other county officials for ballot theft during the 2020 presidential campaign for Donald Trump. So the votes that were being destroyed. I'm telling y'all, man, this is heavy.
Cordello Smith can establish the connection of blank blank's failure to prosecute the election workers and other county officials for ballot theft during the 2020 presidential campaign for Donald Trump's votes being destroyed. I have agreed to do this, and it will be for the rate of 60 days due to the coverage of the case's transcripts.
And if further restrictions are necessary, then some prison counselor will aid in his action against inmate Cardello Smith. And the issues, let's go there. The issues of the what?
You read.
You said
I'm
I
gonna
was
read.
asleep. You go ahead and read. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
No.
The issues of the false grape charges that have been lodged against Cardello Smith cannot be allowed to continue. Exclamation point. Not like a, just, that was, they put exclamation point. They said the issues of the false grape charges that have been lodged against Cardello Smith cannot be allowed to continue. So they said that he can connect voter fraud against the presidential campaign against Donald Trump in 2020, and he could connect
When he
great.
lost.
Well, yeah, he lost, but they could connect great charges that have been lodged against him, false grape charges.
Now, there's other things here that you guys don't see.
You want me to put? No, let's not put that up.
I'm not
But
going to
go
put it
ahead.
up, but we can read it.
Yeah, just read it.
Please be advised that this writer implores the parties of Inspector and
Prison counselor to
Smith
immediately.
to immediately ensure that the notice of intent to conduct an administrative hearing initial report is not provided to the plaintiff. And this is in bold letters. They wrote that in
He
all
want
caps.
he wasn't supposed to receive this. No.
Prisoners' due process override is authorized. Prisoners' due process override is authorized. I'll say it one more time. Prisoners' due process override is authorized, meaning that the permission has been granted to set aside his rights so that they can do whatever it is they choose to do. And what they
Mm-hmm.
choose to do right now is to mute him.
Mm-hmm.
See, even as a prisoner, he still has some rights. Even as a prisoner. But considering that he is a warden of the state, if the state comes in and says, yeah, no, he don't deserve those rights. He don't get those rights.
Right.
Rights can be overridden, which is why I guess the attorney general was a part of this hearing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Only provide a hearing report and date it for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Cite reasons for the alternate telephone restrictions as prisoner called a third party on the phone, which would be in violation of the code. See, if a prisoner calls someone, they're not supposed to like do three-way calls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be allowed. For the record, we do have the caller ID logs when Derrick called us directly.
Yep. Sure do.
We have the call logs. We have that where it says he called us directly. He had the ability to call us directly from jail. We had the ability to leave him messages.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys understand? Put a one in the chat if you're understanding what I'm saying to you, what we're sharing with you. I mean, they got a prison reform group, the Carters and Rock Nation.
Huh. The irony. Hey, you know what? Maybe we should call Miss Perez and put this on her docket and say, hey, y'all need to look at this. That would be funny.
Yes, he does. He represents thousands of men in court proceedings that could ultimately, if he wins, release thousands of prisoners and give them the ability to be able to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I want you guys to think about that. They wanted this backdated. This happened on the 14th of October.
Yeah.
They wanted this backdated. This happened on October 14th. It says right here, the only provide a hearing report, not this document, but just the hearing report, and dated for Thursday, October 16th,
Mm.
2025.
Hmm.
Cite reasons for alternate phone restriction as prisoner called a third party on the phone. Now, I want you guys to understand what we're saying. Let's flip back to what you guys can see here. Okay. Requested that this office issue a restriction on the prisoner's ability to utilize the prisoner telephone system based on the following needs and requests of the requested parties. Inmate Cordello Smith has released transcripts of the sealed hearing.
Right there. Right there.
So it says it in this first piece here that you see right here that they want his phone taken away because this was released. Do you guys see what we're saying?
It's all retaliatory.
They want his phone taken away because of this. This office issue a restriction on the prisoner's ability to utilize the prisoner telephone system based on the following needs and requests of the requested parties. Inmate Cordello Smith has released transcripts of the sealed hearing. While certain people appeared under oath in Cordello Smith's alias name,
Mm.
that the transcribed hearing was sealed under. Do you hear this? They're admitting that the hearing that I've shared with you guys, or at least some of what happened that I've shared with you guys, they're admitting in this record here that it was done under an alias intentionally. We're not going to put the file name out there. We're not. Or the file number. We haven't done any of that. We redacted all of this for very good reason. But this is what they're saying. First paragraph. Restrict him from using the prisoner's telephone system based on the fact that he released transcripts of a sealed hearing. Now let's fast forward. Prisoner due process override is authorized. Only provide a hearing report and date it for October 16th, 2025. Cite reasons for alternate telephone restriction as prisoner called a third party on the phone. Which will be attested to by other officials and state employees. These instructions need to be followed as given by blah, blah, blah. Sean Combs, Michigan Counsel David Fink, PP, who's a detective for Wayne County, and someone else whose name I'm not going to say, but has the title of Attorney General for the state of Michigan. Use inmate Smith's which I cannot say, and ensure that inmate Cordello Smith does not get this copy. Do not provide him a notice. And that's in bold caps. Understood, Sentinel West. What are you saying, Rain? So now that interview Trump did stating he may or may not pardon Diddy makes more sense now. Well, now that you're getting the tea, I want y'all to think about that. Destroy ballots and no prosecution. I'm sure all of you have heard about Mr. Fink before. That's Diddy's Michigan attorney. Why does he need a Michigan attorney if he doesn't do business in Michigan? I don't understand. I don't understand. It's 4 a.m. Okay, let's do a recap. But before we move any forward, can we get 150 more likes? I'd appreciate that. And please feel free to super chat. Feel free to send all that stuff because we got a lot more work to do. And this is information that People just don't have. Oh, by the way, I want to take a little quiz while we're at it. Now, it's all the rage here on social media for people to say stuff like, you have a forged document, that's a forgery, that's not real, whoop de whoop de woo, yada, yada, yada. Correct? Would you guys agree? Wire in. Just wire in. Would you agree that these people are probably going to say that what I'm reading you is forged or it's fake? I'm sure they would. So guess what I'm gonna do? Just for the hell of it. Now I want to ask y'all something. If if you know how like documents and stuff work, right? If it was a fake, if it was forged, certain things just wouldn't happen. Like official documents, they have registers on them, like codes and stuff on them, right? So like let's just say I send you official paperwork from somewhere and I send it to you via email or via text or whatever the case may be, and you get it and you download it. If it's an official real document, it'll have like certain prompts on it, right? Like if this was forged,
Sport.
I don't
I
think you'd
don't
be
think you'd
able to
be able to
see
see
a Google
a Google
prompt.
prompt
You're echoing real.
echoing real.
I'm echoing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See, that's a damn shame. Go ahead. What about now?
not now.
Not now.
I don't know if you
I don't know
guys
if you
can see
guys
it.
can see this.
Is that too
Is
bright?
that too bright?
Can you see
Can you
that?
see that?
A
A
screenshot.
screenshot.
You can kind of see it.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
It's fine.
No, because see
No,
what
because
it
see
said.
what it said.
See, it,
See,
it was
it
better
was
off.
better off.
And the
And the
feedback is
feedback is
like there's nothing
like
but
there's
echo.
nothing but echo.
I don't know why. I'm not. The fuck? Hold on. Let me just mute then. Go ahead.
I'm echoing too? No, I was echoing on him. It's not me doing it. But I want y'all to think about that. See if I pull this document up, it it'll ask me, it says DCS hearing PDF, like it pops up. That's a real document. Now, some people might say, oh, she faked this and she created it. But I just took that screenshot while we were sitting here reading it. And just to be clear, just so everyone knows, that's a screenshot. So let's see if we can
Now you
keep
don't.
up.
You don't have to explain it. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just got people whose job is
No, I'm
to.
just
No,
I'm just
I'm
saying,
just
just
saying.
to be it's really echoing that bad. Maybe you need to drop down and come back. Smith needs to get everyone's attention. Diddy needs to be stopped. What can we do to bring attention to this? I couldn't agree more, Carol. I couldn't agree more. But I'm just trying to make sure that everyone understands, because people are so hot to try to debunk everything, and people love debunking, and they love debunking, and they love debunking, and they love debunking. Diddy hasn't been stopped. Because see, just because he's not out on the street doesn't mean that his efforts aren't still working. If he was truly stopped, people would stop trying to discredit Derrick, and they would look at his case with fresh eyes and less opinions. Yes, let's see what time in reality says. Always. I always say that. But this isn't about us trying to make a guilty man innocent or make an innocent man guilty. This is about the fact that we want justice to be placed appropriately where it belongs. There's more that I should read for you guys, by the way. But I just want to let you know that there's no way I could have faked this. And you know what? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see if I put it up. But this screenshot was taken at 12:31 West Coast time today, and that prompt came up. So for those of you who are trying to prove to everyone, that everything is forged and everything is fake. And everything is fake.
Again, there's no need
That
to
prompt. That
anything to
prompt.
nobody.
No, I'm just saying, you work in IT. That prompt wouldn't come up if it wasn't an actual real document, would it? If it was forged and
If
fake,
it was
that wouldn't come
forged
up.
and fake, that wouldn't come out.
Right.
Am I wrong?
You're right.
This isn't about believing me, Auntie Leah. This is about us, because people always say, "Oh, she says this and she says that. She has no receipts. She can't prove anything she says." Whoop de whoop de whoop. So, you know, thank you, Alina. Yeah, let's get the likes up. That's one thing that we can do. And hype, and once this video is, hype it, share it, make sure everyone sees this. So anyway, let's get back to this paperwork here. Okay. This is so disgusting. Do not get this copy. I'm sorry. Let me read that again, because I'm a little pissed off. And please ensure that inmate Cordello Smith does not get this copy. Do not provide him a notice. Tell whoop de whoop de whoop staff he is on restriction, and they will comply. He has probable cause conference authority. From article whoop de whoop de whoop, court justices at the receiving facility. So understand that this was done at the time they were transferring him. You guys remember when we came in and we let you know that Derrick was being transferred and that they were taking his phone restrictions away from him. Okay. So they're saying, put all of this in order, and where you're sending him to, they are going to comply with this. They're going to comply with this. Okay. That's what they're saying. At the receiving facility where he is now. Note, we can move on purging. Ooh. Note, We can move on purging the sealed transcripts and FOIA documents in the NDOC. Mm. Do y'all hear what I'm reading? Do y'all hear what I'm reading to you? Note, we can move on purging. Purging mean getting rid of, destroying. Yes, purging. That is the language that is used. Purging. Note, we can move on purging the sealed transcripts and FOIA documents in the MDOC. In closing, Cordello Smith is innocent of the grapes, guilty of second-degree reverum.
Somebody asks, is that legal? Really? Come on. We know it's not legal. And it's time for people to really start talking. I think that's the part of the reason why the next series is going to be vital, because it's not just putting it out there and, like the Demore situation was, to bring awareness.
Yeah, but also
Um,
we were on a buzzer. We had a buzzer from the jump. The gag order, they were putting in for the gag order. We had to beat the buzzer on that. We didn't have a choice. If we had waited too long, not only would it have been suppressed, but it could have been used against her in court like they tried to do with that Tasha K post.
and that situation, yeah, was a little, yep, uniquely different. This one, there needs to be action.
I'll be right back.
People need to write. People need to say something to certain people. It's, yeah. In the end, it said it will tamper or hamper. What did it say? 128 different cases. Um, this could affect over 100 different cases. Also, talking about the voting situation. And mind you, yeah, Derrick that didn't sign for that.
It's still unsigned.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I pull the document up, my DocuSign pops up and asks me if I want to sign the document.
Hmm.
Also, more evidence, isn't it?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah. D Froggies. We'll put it out there. You said who Cash Patel should we contact? Yeah, I made some. I ain't gonna lie. I made some emails. I did some calls or emails, and because this when I saw this, I said this was some straight bullshit. Yeah, there's people in the FBI that need to see this.
Should we talk about timeline now so people understand
Yeah.
exactly how real this is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just look at time and date on my interview on the blue couch.
Yeah. Your interview on the blue couch. What was that? Was that the 3rd of October?
That's
No.
wild. They capped that off real quick. It hasn't even made it to 250 yet.
Oh, I thought it would have did 250. Wow.
Oh no, they're stopping
Mm-mm-mm.
hardcore.
Yeah,
Stop it.
they straight impeded that one.
Oh, yeah. 3 weeks ago. Let's look at the date. What's the actual date on this? October 11th.
Yeah.
This was released October 11th. I spoke about it publicly. October 11th, it hit. October 14th, the document that we've been sharing with you guys. October 14th is when that happened. You want to know what else happened on October 14th? We talked to Derrick. Was that the last time we talked to Derrick?
Was it? I gotta look at the
I think
notes.
that was the last time we talked to Derrick before he was yeah, before he was shipped off. It was the last time.
Hmm.
I want you to think about how quickly this moved. See, a lot of people like to try to pretend like we just capping, like we not standing on business over here, like we're not showing you how this thing really works. I want y'all to look at the timeline. We announced we were going to be doing Derrick's series. We started interviewing Derrick. We started talking with him. We started capturing everything. Okay. The Blue Couch interview premiered on the 11th. That was a Saturday. Sunday is the 12th. Monday was the 13th. Tuesday was the 14th. 3 days. From the time that interview released, 3 days. From the time it released, on the 14th, yes, I want you to think about how fast they're working. Like, you can't make this up. It looks like exactly what it looks like. No, it's just showing everything people just rather. Listen to me. I want to make sure that there's no confusion here. October 11th, Blue Couch interview hits. 3 days later, this document that we're reading, sharing with you today, this hearing, it was a hearing. It happened 3 days later for his telephone restriction.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all understand? Now, mind you, prison phone calls are all monitored and recorded. Every single one of them
Facts. Yeah.
recorded. The question isn't, what have we shared with you? The question really is what they're waiting for us to share with you. Do y'all
Yep.
see? Part of
Yep.
the reason why we've been playing this the way we're playing it so close to the sleeve. See, they know everything we haven't told the public yet. They know everything. They heard it all. They've listened to every conversation that we had. They know everything that Derrick told us, and they know everything that we have documented. And we haven't shared with the public yet. And I'm glad we didn't. And the reason why I'm glad we didn't, because it explains how explosive everything is that we've gotten from him, his own testimony. And the lengths that they're willing to go through and go
Mm-hmm.
to make sure nobody hears about it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to understand this is not a game. And the truth is, for people like us, this is pretty much a dangerous story. This is a very dangerous story. Matter of fact, this story is probably more dangerous than Demore's.
Oh yeah. It's still same, some of the same cast, same bad guys, because you know y'all don't be knowing people be following you, and it's weird, just weirdos. You got weirdos out here, man. And this situation, though, this is a whole different level. And but you see why. And this is why I was doing what I was doing with the series that I'm working on with about you, Jag, about the receipts and the narratives, because trust and believe, they pretty much got 99% of YouTube, these people on YouTube lassoed up. They can only say certain stuff, they can't talk about certain things, yada yada yada. When you talk about something that's gonna potentially ruffle some feathers or get some, do like what this story would do, it's a bad look for certain people. So therefore, guess what?
It's a
You
catastrophic look. It's a catastrophic look for some people.
yeah, because they got to keep
Catastrophic.
that image up. They have to keep that image. They have to keep that image up. That's it.
October 11th, the Blue Couch interview where I talked about us investigating further into Derrick's case because of this sealed document. October 14th, there is a hearing.
Oh, and they want to say that he assaulted a cop. That's what the restriction is for.
Huh?
But it's really because of the phone calls. Yeah, that's what they want. That's you see how they play around. Yeah. They're saying that he assaulted a cop.
How?
Right.
When?
Right. That's their system. They can say what they want to say. Yeah.
Yeah, but it says nothing about an assault charge in this hearing.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
On October 14th, 2025, it says that these people came together and they're asking for this office to issue a restriction on the prisoner's ability to utilize the prisoner telephone system based on the following needs and requests of the requested parties. Inmate Cordello Smith has released transcripts of the sealed hearing. And make you no mistake about it, if he had assaulted one of the officers in jail on
Oh, they would have.
or just on the
They
floor,
would have.
listen to me. The second that they transferred him from where he was to where he is now, he would have went into detention, into
Right.
greater confinements. They would have put him in a hole. Period. You don't get to hit a cop and they do hearings on it while you're in jail and you no. They restricted him because of his telephone conversations with us.
Yeah.
And they were
Yep.
so desperate to push this through as quickly as possible, that they listed it. They listed it. They said the reason why they were requesting this restriction was because Derrick has released transcripts of the sealed hearing that I've shared with you guys. Why would he being, well, if it were fake, because that's what everyone was saying. These were fake, these were
Yeah.
doctored, this isn't
Yep.
real, this was
Yep.
that. I'm disseminating false information, I'm doing
Yep.
this, I'm doing that. Why was there a whole hearing about it? And
Yeah, you got
meanwhile, hmm?
no. I said you got weirdos online running with that. Oh yeah, those are. She's talking about fake document, but they can say that you're saying that they're fake, but they can't prove that what you have are fake. If it's so fake, why would the MDOC? Why would they? Why would be so threatened? You know what I'm saying?
You want to know what's interesting? That happened, right? All of that happened on the 14th.
Appreciate your new life raw, new life raw evolution. All right.
Thank you. All of that happened. I'm trying to look up.
And if it's so fake, see the thing is they talk about fake. What I have on my screen is actually on Pacer. So this is
This is from Pacer.
yeah.
Is this fake too?
Yeah, I get they're gonna say it's fake, yeah. Let them there. Oh, it's fake because I said it's fake. Oh, okay, all right. But it's on Pacer, on record saying what it is. What you're saying happened got documented on Pacer.
Let's yeah, B Man ain't been around, has he? No more super chats from B Man.
Oh yeah, he was really he should have sent more.
We sat down, blue couch. It was released October 11th. 3 days later, there was a whole hearing to take away Derrick's privilege. Part of the reason why they took away the privilege, or most of the reason why they took away the privilege, or at least the first thing they mentioned in this hearing transcript that they mentioned, was because he released transcripts. Why would he be being punished? Why would they feel the need? They didn't say fake documents. What they did say, though, was that he was innocent of rape. They said he was innocent of that. They did say that. So while this was happening on the 14th, oh, and by the way, they said make sure you update it. Dated for October 16th, not 14th, 16th. They also talked about the purging of documents, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we listen to what Derrick had to say to us on October 14th while this hearing was happening? We actually spoke to him.
Oh, Jack. Yeah, I apologize about that. It's just their count time, you know.
No, it's really, we understand.
Yeah. So she's literally bragging, and she said, we destroyed the all the homicide files. And I asked her, I said, well, the law says you have to keep those for 55 years. You're the top law enforcement officer in Wayne County. She goes, so what about it? It took me when she said so, it just took me right back to '98. You know, this time we're in her world. And I saw an officer there who was an ally of mine. He's not an enemy, so he understood. So I knew I was okay. I had somebody there that wasn't going to let anything bad take place. And she said, "We cannot have any of this come out. We don't want this to come out. You're making me office and look back. And I said, that's all you care about is your image? That's all you care about? And she goes, what else is there to care about? Me, my money? And she goes, Sean is especially different now. She goes, I don't know what you did to him, but he's different. And I said, it's not about him. You're destroying files. You're destroying evidence. She goes, so who's going to charge me? And I mean, she's just caught up in this. Who's going to charge me?
Can everyone hear this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take it from the top one more time. I want y'all to listen to what he's saying. While this hearing was happening, to take away his phone restrictions, we were having the last conversation we got to have with Derrick.
Mm.
Same day. Now, I'm not sure of the exact time, but Derrick had shared with us that they had put a writ out, and a writ was for a court proceeding. Like when a prosecutor issues a writ for a prisoner to come out of jail, usually it's to bring them to court, but he didn't go to court. He went to her office. Okay? He went to her office, but they went to court. I want y'all to think about that. Very sneaky. What I mean, did you think about that, Odell?
Hold on. No, I finally got. You remember that the new message, the new mail? I got it. I'm reading. I'm sorry. Oh
Oh,
man, this is crazy. Yeah, hold on. I'll share it. Let me send it to you. You want me to send it to you? I'll email it to you. Okay.
yeah, email
So
it.
maybe you could. Maybe you. Yeah. Let me email it to you. This
Like, do
is
you guys
wow.
understand what we're sharing with you? And they said to date it for October 16th.
Oh my God. I
We'll
you
catch
you
it if
gotta
it comes
you could
out.
read you can read some of it online, I guess, and share it with everybody. This is crazy.
Why don't you go through it and let me know what we
No,
should
no, no. Don't show
share?
it. I'm just saying you could you know
No,
how to
I
read it.
said, why don't you go through it and you share with me what I should read? I didn't say I was going
You
to
could
share.
read you could read whatever you want. I'm just what I sent over was the it was something that was dated for October 2nd. So um this is about the search and arrest requests to Derrick Lee Smith, non-active, non-authorized district court warrant requests for PP and all those other people has been compensated for her testimony. Do not seek or proceed with arrest warrant for Mr. Cordello Smith. Yeah, that's what I say. You got to read that. So all what's going on right now makes sense. But I'm still trying to analyze this. This is crazy.
You a smart cookie, Truman Show.
What happened? What did he say?
Once again, said that they be looking at a lot of the CCs and they be acting like they're really about it, but they think that they on the payroll for the
Oh,
other side.
yeah, that's true.
Brother Angel, you've been a member for a month. Congrats.
Appreciate you.
The clearest view of a lineup to a lineup. Oh, indeed, man.
We might, man. We might have to come back. Well, no, we don't have to come back. But this is
Okay.
wild. I'm just looking at all this. Oh man, but it's right on schedule for the first. I mean, if y'all ready to see the first episode, or at least the
Derrick Lee. Let's. I'm ready to just render it out and push it out because this is wow. We still got to talk about this though. Oh man, I might have to send this over to the
No, actually, that pretty girl, we didn't want to double up on receipts. We got the things that you sent us and we appreciated it, but we also wanted to make sure that we had other things that corroborate. The one thing we don't want to make it seem like is that we're just spreading information around or resharing information. We want to make sure that everything lines up with other things as well. I mean, this is very, 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 very important because people have gone out of their way and they've gone so far to try to discredit this story. We need to keep being able to show things that aren't all coming from the same place, if that makes sense. Let's listen to Derrick a little bit longer.
Oh, Jack. So, yeah, I apologize about that. It's just their count time, you know.
No,
And
we understand.
yeah, so she's literally bragging, and she said, we destroyed the all the homicide files. And I asked her, I said, well, the law says you have to keep those for 55 years. You're the top law enforcement officer in Wayne County. She goes, so what about it? It took me when she said so, it just took me right back to '98. You know, this time we're in her world. And I saw an officer there who was a ally of mine. He's not enemy, so he understood. So I knew I was okay. I had somebody there that wasn't going to let anything bad take place. And he said, "We cannot have any of this come out. We don't want this to come out. You're making me look bad, and my office look bad." And I said, "That's all you care about is your image. That's all you care about." And she goes, "What else is there to care about? Me, my money?" And she goes, "Sean is especially different now." She goes, "I don't know what you did to him, but he's different." And I said, "It's not about him. You're destroying files. You're destroying evidence." She goes, "So who's going to charge me?" And I mean, she's just caught up in this. Who's going to charge me? She goes, "We destroyed your credibility. We destroyed who you were, and you somehow managed to weasel these transcripts out of her." I said, "Weasel?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "No, what it is some employees follow the law. We destroyed your credibility. We destroyed who you were, and you somehow managed to weasel these transcripts out of her." I said, "Weasel?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "No, what it is some." She goes, "We destroyed your credibility. We destroyed who you were, and you somehow managed to.
Or is it looping on purpose?
Transcripts out of her."
Yeah, I did that.
I said, "Weasel?"
Okay.
She goes, "No, what it is some employees follow the law." And that's how I got it, because members of the public can come get it. And she goes, "Well, they won't be getting these anymore." And I said, "Well, what about my motions?" She goes, "Oh, well, they can still get those. Those are attached." And I said, "That's still the original record." She goes, "Well, whatever. I don't care about that. You're just here now. And I destroyed it. So what? What are you going to do about it?" And I was just feeling that old anger again, you know? And I told her, I said, "Well, things are different this time." She goes, "What do you mean? Things are different. You're a proven liar. People know Sean Combs is a liar. I know you're a liar. These men here know you're a liar." She goes, "Only some of them." She goes, "They know enough to shut up." And she goes, "And we told Erica P to shut up or else too." I said, "You told Erica P." She goes, "Don't worry about Kathy Gary. We have them on lock." Is the term she used. We got them on lock.
Hmm. Hmm.
Who do you go to when everybody is cooperating with the wrong side? Who do you go to? Hmm? People want me to be a liar. People want me to be a fraud. People want me to be this clout chaser. People want, trust me, this isn't the kind of clout that anybody wants. I don't even consider it clout. You know, the thing that trips me out, I sit here and I listen to all of these people online, and even some of the people that say that they down for all of the right things. Got me looking at people sideways, G.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the person who's not looking.
You see that you got the email, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it
Mm,
now.
yeah. We're gonna have to follow up with y'all about this because yeah, I'm ready to push the first episode because we're still waiting on some stuff, but you know.
This is from January 7th, 2019. Hmm. Search and arrest requests as to Derrick Lee Smith, 267-009. Non-active, non-authorized district court warrant. Request by PP.
Mm,
Must have been married at that point in time.
mm,
Oh no, that's somebody else. I guess nobody wanted to marry her. October 2nd, 2018. This is when the that last case was put on him, wasn't it?
mm-hmm.
The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, which is embodied by Article 1, Section 11 of Michigan State Constitution, protects against unreasonable searches and seizures and states that no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Therefore, effective immediately before a search or arrest warrant can be issued in order to comply with state and federal law. One, the magistrate or judge must orally administer a complete oath or affirmation to the affiant. The affiant must sign the affidavit or complaint in the judge or magistrate presence unless the warrant request is being submitted electronically. The affiant must have personal knowledge of the facts will be do, yada yada yada. The warrant being sought for Derrick Lee Smith, MDOC 267-009, currently incarcerated. Michigan, listed under aliases of Derrick Lee Smith, Derrick L. Moore, Derrick Smith, Derrick L. Smith. How are you incarcerated under 4 different names?
Crazy. That's
Will
wild.
will be delayed as Detective PP has met with the complainant Carpenter. Multiple instances. The warrant request for Doe Smith. Okay, I guess this is the most important part, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number 6. The warrant request for Cordello Smith, MDOC number 267009, is rejected as that it contains a false grape claim,
Mm.
bribes, obstruction of justice, conspiracy, malicious prosecution, attempt. Oh, by the whoop-de
Mm.
whoop-de-woo and the whoop-de whoop-de-woo, multiple affidavits of criminal investigations into Therese TB BS connections. mm, the original SA of Cordello Smith, by then Puff Daddy, now Diddy, employees working in conjunction with Whoop-de Whoop-de-Woo for outside persons who are above my pay grade. No warrant will be authorized by this office, and it will be considered a false arrest by this office and a violation of Cordello Smith, inmate number 267009's constitutional rights for false arrest charges. We are working to coordinate with all impacted agencies. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. We might need to come back. We might need to.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I think I need to put the first little episode out, members only, maybe, or what did we say we was gonna do?
Remember,
Regardless to what, yeah, regardless to what, then I need to just push that. We need to put that out, and then we could come back. What do you think? I don't know. We'll talk. We'll figure it out. It's a lot.
okay, so let's I'm sorry, y'all. It's just that easy to take a person's freedom away.
Hmm.
And it's just that easy. That thing that you always say Napoleon says, history is nothing more than a group of lies agreed upon. No, because I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be innocent. I know how it feels to be holding the evidence of your innocence. I know how it feels to present paperwork to a police officer with a state seal on it and state that this is the evidence that what you're charging me with is not fair, it's not right. And they say, we don't care, we're taking you to jail. For all we know, those are forged.
Mm-hmm.
This is slightly triggering to me because I said, well, then all you have to do is call Dallas and get the information from them. I'm sure they'll have no problem with sending you documents so that you can let me go and drop these charges. And they said, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're taking you to trial.
Yeah.
And in the midst of that time with that they did that, they kept me in jail for another 3 months. And I was forced to lose my home and lose my child. See, they did that just so I would lose custody of my son. They knew I was going to beat the case. They knew that. But they kept me there to let my ex-husband steal custody away from me so that they could continue to use my child to torture me and to force me to go along with the program. I get this on so many different levels. But to this extent, for someone 28 years, everybody wants to make a monster out of him. Like I said, I find it very interesting. People come to the internet, they come online and they run with this stuff and they run with this stuff and they say this and they say that and they say this and they say that and they talk about these things and then whoop, it disappears and nobody pays attention to how it actually turns out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another thing not thought of. That's why I'm leery on anybody who runs to the internet and just pummels people with information, kind of like what Candace Owens is doing with the whole Charlie Kirk situation, pummeling people with information, and then boom, the next thing you know, it just disappears. They stop talking about it. They find the next sensational thing to talk about, and then they talk about that, and they pummel you with this, and they pummel you with that, and they pummel you with this, and people get overwhelmed. They get overwhelmed, and they forget. They forget. And this person, their life is still being affected. So it's 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know. Guys, let's take a quick poll. If we leave and come back, are you guys gonna come back? Uh Put a 3 in the chat. If you'll come back, if we come back in like an hour or two, put a 4 in the chat if you think you'd rather just wait
You
for
got it.
the content.
Well, it ain't gonna be an hour or two. Big U's son passed. I'm about to go by there.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta go check. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I'm not sure when we'll come back then.
No, it could be soon. I'm just saying I'm gonna go by there to get that because yeah, that's wild.
He was taken, wasn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who would do that to Big U's son? I guess he's in
Yeah.
jail, so it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
You want to know the one thing that's so amazing about this paperwork?
Was that?
Somebody made the mistake. of letting us get to it,
Mm-hmm.
which is how I know it's not a mistake. Because, like I said in this document, do not let him have it. Right? Because they're so worried about who he's going to share it with.
Right. Exactly.
I want y'all to think about how fast they worked. And they can't say that it's not because he's talking to us, because the turnaround time. And then changing the date on when it all happened to try to make it look like it didn't have anything to do with the Blue Couch interview. It's interesting. And people, come on, y'all. Make sure we want to thank everybody for the 500 likes. I'm hoping that Replay Gang will get us to that 1K.
Y'all please subscribe, share.
And hype this up, if for nothing more than Derrick's birthday. It is his birthday today, and what a birthday gift we're giving to him, sharing his outcry with the world. This is the best birthday gift that we could give for him, getting his word out there, considering how often it is suppressed. Please hype this video. And we'll see you guys later. Keep an eye on your community post wall, because you guys always know when we're going to go live. I post thank you, Auntie Leah. And also, just to be on the safe side, I suggest that everybody, after you leave here, resubscribe. Like, I don't know when the last time some of you, like, actually, not everybody, but if you didn't get a notification today, resubscribe. Like during the course of this weekend at some time. It doesn't have to be today. It can be whenever, but I suggest that everyone just keep resubscribing, because I think they're going to be working. They're going to be working extra hard. Don't need to do it today, but just to be on the safe side, because yeah, I think it's about to get thick. All right. Sometimes they just take memberships. I'm not sure, but when we do come back, we're going to be coming back. It's going to be if it's not a members only live, it will be a members only chat. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Members only. Yep.
All right, guys. See you soon. Peace.